Hi, my name is Megan Scott. I'm the Gifted Resource Teacher at Brandon Middle School, and I'm really excited to welcome you to Brandon for next year. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the program at Brandon, give you a general overview of middle school and our gifted program, and also address some of the frequently asked questions that parents have. So first of all, I'm sure you've heard this before, but I wanted to remind you of the definition of giftedness. It's for students who have, this is the United States Department of Education's definition, but it's students who have outstanding abilities, who are capable of high performance, and who require differentiated education programs beyond what is provided in a regular school setting. A couple of key words that we always note are the capable part, that they are capable of doing it, and that they need that differentiation beyond what is regularly provided in this regular school classroom. So my role is a gifted resource teacher. One of the things that I do, I work very closely with the teachers to create lessons and units, and we work really strongly with differentiation to meet the students' needs. Sometimes, like I said, I meet with individual or small groups. I have gifted lunches with students. It's one of my favorite things. It gives us a chance to support their social emotional needs, but also for me to really build relationships with students. We do everything from having game day where we play apples to apples, which is their favorite, to building catapults. We've done different STEM activities where they had to build paper towers and see whose was the tallest. Recently, students had to build dams, and they had certain materials they had to use and see which one could prevent water from going to one side of the dam to the other. Sometimes we have guest speakers come in. So we have a lot of fun in our gifted lunches. In 6th grade, typically, I have lunch with our 6th graders once a month. And then as my schedule allows and as their schedule allows, 7th and 8th grade, we meet a little more frequently. The number one thing to know about me is that I am your student's advocate, and therefore I am your advocate. That is my whole job, is to advocate for your child. And I do this in a number of ways, by working with the teachers, by working with you, by working with guidance, and working with your student. So I just wanted to give you a general overview of middle school and our gifted program. In middle school, each student is placed on an academic or core team. Currently, our 6th grade gifted team is a 6-man team, well, 6 ladies and men, and it might be that way for next year, or we might have 2 gifted teams. But the thing to know is that I work with all of the teachers and all of the students. We do have a block schedule, which I'll explain in a little bit. I know that's really confusing to parents, so we'll explain that. Students are going to have more teachers in middle school. So right now in elementary, they typically have 1 to 2 teachers. In middle school, they will have 4 core subject teachers: English, math, science, and social studies, and then they'll have elective teachers. So it is a lot of new people to know for you and for your student. So we cluster gifted students, and what that means is that gifted students tend to grasp concepts more quickly than the average student, even than regular advanced students sometimes. And so by clustering the students, anywhere from 6 students in a gifted class, or 6 gifted students in a class, to 20 students in algebra. It just kind of depends on the schedules, the availability of the subjects at the time period that we need it to do. Gifted students in all of the advanced classes are clustered with other gifted students and other highly capable or advanced students. We really work hard to make sure that students are placed in advanced classes when possible. We know that they have that capability, like we saw in the definition, but then also we want to challenge them. And a lot of times what we see when gifted students aren't challenged is they get bored, and boredom leads to trouble. So we try to keep the gifted students as challenged as possible. Sometimes we do know that gifted students struggle in classes just like anyone else. And so with that, I really do work on keeping an eye on students' grades. And if I notice that a student is not being successful in an advanced class, first I talk to the student, because they're in middle school now and they need to work on that responsibility. But then I talk to you as a parent or contact guidance to set up conferences so that we can really evaluate that. Students may be moved down from advanced to regular or core classes. However, even if they do, they don't lose their title of giftedness. Once they're identified, then they remain identified throughout school until they graduate in 12th grade. However, we want them to be academically successful, So if they are performing poorly as far as academics, then we do look at, is it the appropriate placement? But we do try, when all possible, to get students on that advanced track. All right, so one of the things that parents and students always struggle with at the beginning of the year are block scheduling. And once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. I know personally though, I have all of my calendars labeled AB, 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 just so I can remember. But what it means is that students in their core classes it's a longer period of time. So they're about an hour-and-a-half block. So let's say that for our sample student, on Monday morning, they come in and their first block is science. So they would go to science and they would be there from about 9, 10 to 11. At 11, they go to an elective, and it might be an exploratory class, it might be teen living, it might be orchestra, but they're going to go to an elective. Then we have Brandon time and lunch. So basically, we can't fit all of the students in one grade level in the cafeteria at once. And so we've split it up into 2 lunches, and half of the 6th grade will go to lunch, and the other half will have Brandon time or a core plus. And that Brandon time is used for enrichment. It's used for students who need to make up missing work. It's used for remediation. It's used, that's when I have gifted lunches with students, I get to pull them for this whole hour. So sometimes they get to have lunch with me during that full hour. Sometimes we use it for anti-bully lessons. There's a number of things that teachers use that time for. It's also a great time for students to go to the library and check out books, or any other business they need to take care of. After that hour of lunch and Brandon time, they're going to go to their second elective, and a student might have PE first and then their Spanish elective afterwards. It just kind of depends on their scheduling, but it's still going to be elective, lunch, and then elective. And then they have their second core class at the end of the day. And so for this student, it would be social studies. Then on Tuesday, which is a B day, they would have math for that hour-and-a-half, their same elective as Monday, same Brandon time as lunch, and then their same second elective as Monday, and then they would have English as their second class. On Wednesday, we start all over again with the A day. So the thing to know about block scheduling is if a student misses one day, in a way it's really like they're missing 2 classes because it's an hour-and-a-half class. So when you have a bell schedule where students go 55 minutes for every class, when they miss one day, it's not as hard. When they miss a day on a block schedule, they're missing more material because they're missing essentially an hour-and-a-half's worth of learning. So it is important that students get their makeup work and really try hard to catch up because it just compounds. Now here's the other thing about block scheduling is that let's say they have science. Well, here they won't have science again till Wednesday and then Friday, and then they won't have it till the following Tuesday because it alternates every day. So if students are assigned some sort of homework or a reading or things like that, it's really important that they try to do it that first night that they have it. Students have a class and they get into that tendency, oh, I'll do it tomorrow night. It gets harder and harder to do that because then not only do they have this work, then maybe they have this work too. So really encourage your student to do whatever they need to do that night that they have the class so that it's fresh in their mind. One of the things that I will be working on with students, especially 6th graders, are study skills and organization, because that is an area that a lot of students struggle with, not only gifted students, but all students. And that's the study skills are something that they're going to have to start using because the material is going to be more complex and advanced than what they're used to. All schools in the division follow the same Virginia Standards of Learning, and I work really closely with teachers to ensure proper differentiation for all students. So we have advanced classes offered in almost every subject. In math, students in 6th grade have the opportunity to take core math, advanced math 6, or pre-algebra. It is highly based on SOL scores, math inventories. They look at, there's a rubric that's used. So it's very objective in how students are placed, but we want the right placement for students where they are going to be the most successful. We don't want students struggling. Pre-algebra is a little more accelerated than advanced math 6. However, it is still entirely possible for advanced math 6 students to be placed in algebra in 7th grade. So either one, Advanced Math 6 or Pre-Algebra, are both great advanced math classes for any student. We have Advanced Science and Physical Science. When they are on the Advanced Science track and they take the Advanced Science 6, they take Advanced Life Science in 7th grade, which and they take an SOL for that, and then they would be on the track to take Earth Science in 8th grade, which is the highest science class that we offer in middle school. If students are placed in Physical Science in 6th grade, they do have the opportunity to do modules to make up the material that was not covered in the Physical Science class in 6th grade, to be able to be placed in Advanced Science for the 7th grade. But again, when all possible, we like to try to start them in that Advanced Science class. Then we have Advanced English. And then Social Studies, there's no advanced class for that. It's just a core class. But that's an area especially where I like to work with the teachers. This year in Social Studies, we've done a historical scene investigation, looking at the Boston Massacre to see was it really justified with the decision. We've done simulations. So there's a lot of things that we do in that area where we get to differentiate for our gifted learners. As far as electives go, we have lots of electives offered for our students. We do have exploratory electives where they can take 9 weeks of 4 different things so they can kind of get their feet wet. If you have a student who is identified as gifted in visual arts, the only program at the middle school level for that are inclusive services at Virginia Beach Middle School. If they decide to go to Virginia Beach Middle School, that would be their home school. They would be bused there, they would participate in all the activities there, they're eligible to do after-school activities and sports and all of that at Virginia Beach. If your student chooses not to go to Virginia Beach Middle as a visual arts gifted learner, they come to Brandon as their home school. They can take art as an elective, but there are no special services for identified gifted visual arts students at any other school, any other school other than Virginia Beach Middle School. For our ODC dancers, we do meet their needs at the middle school level, and so they go 1 day a week, just like they did in elementary school. For the last 2 years, our dancers have gone on Tuesdays. The difference in elementary and middle school is in middle school they are picked up at a stop near their home around 7:30, 7:40. You'll get that specific information closer to the start of the next school year. They spend all day at ODC and then they come back to Brandon around 2:40. So they have that last hour of the day in their classes, which in 6th grade would be one of their core classes. I work really closely with our dancers. I just like with other students, I check their grades, I touch base with them, I touch base with their teachers to make sure they're getting their assignments. I had the opportunity for a couple years in a row to go spend the day at ODC, and I'm really pleased that I get to be such an advocate for a wonderful program. And I do have lunch with my gifted dancers once a month also. I communicate with parents through a variety of ways. I send the beginning of the year email and newsletter. Email really is the best way to communicate with me. I'm not in my office that often. I have a blog for our gifted parents, and also use social media with Facebook and Twitter in order to connect with the parents in the community. Right, part of my job as being an advocate for you and your child is to attend parent conferences. So if you need to have a conference because of concerns with grades or any other issues, I would be happy to attend that conference as long as you or guidance make sure that I'm invited to that. And I want to show you our blog. One of the ways that I communicate with parents is through a gifted blog. I update this as frequently as possible. This is where I update with longer things as far as enrichment opportunities, where I might share really good articles that I read that pertain to you and your gifted child. So it's great to check in regularly with this. One of the other things that I do more frequently is update parents in the community with what's happening through a Facebook page, and it is facebook.com/BrandonMSGifted, so it's pretty easy to find. But on this, I'm able to post pictures and let you know what's happening around the school. A great way also to see what's happening on a regular basis. And then we're also on Twitter @BrandonGifted. How does your student make Brandon feel like home? Get involved in school activities. There are so many opportunities for students. We have all sorts of intramurals and athletics and academic activities, but the one I'm most excited to tell you about are our pop-up classes. This is something new we started at Brandon this year. So far, this is March that we're filming this, we have had over 30 classes and we've had over 300 students attend the classes. And basically what it is teachers want to ignite a passion for learning in students. And so they take what they love and share that with students. Teachers don't get paid for it. It's strictly voluntary, and a lot of what we do is crowdsourced as far as funding goes. So it's been kind of a fun adventure for us to start this year. But we've had classes like archery, paper airplane making, cupcake decorating, hour of coding, 3D printing, cookie making. So it runs the gamut, and it's, again, whatever teachers really feel passionate about that they want to share with students. And we know that this will keep growing and be even more an amazing opportunity for students in the years to come, and so we're really excited about that opportunity. Students can sign up through that on the Brandon homepage. There's a link, and they get to sign up, and then they stay after school and they can ride the activity bus home or be picked up. Activities we have after school, that we have a wide range of activities, and so there's pretty much something for everyone, from chess club to drama to an environmental garden club. We have a STEM club, a STEP team, so there's all sorts of activities and clubs that students can get involved in, and it's really our goal at Brandon to make sure that every student is connected in some way, be it through an after-school club or activity, having lunch munches with teachers or other staff members, being in a pop-up class, being mentored. Our goal is for 100% of Brandon students to have a connection with a teacher in a all students are eligible to try out for sports and academic teams. If they try out for athletic teams, they have to have a sports physical on file, and you can talk to Mr. Mackey in the Student Activities Office about getting that form and having your doctor fill that out. But students can't participate in any athletic activities without that. Because some of the tryouts for things like football and cheerleading happen over the summer, towards the end of the summer, near the beginning of the school year. We have academic activity competitions, just like we have athletic ones. So those are one at academic challenge, debate, and forensics, which is a public speaking competition. Students do not have to have a sports physical on file for those academic interscholastic activities. We are so excited to welcome you and your student to Brandon Middle School. We have a student and parent orientation in August. Parents will have an opportunity to attend some sessions and have more questions answered, and students will be able to go on a scavenger hunt around the building and learn their way around. We also will have an open house in August, right around the last week of August, so that you'll have an opportunity to come and see the classes and see where your student will be. As always, my job here is to work with you and your child, and I am very excited about it. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to email me. That is the easiest and fastest way to get a hold of me, and I will respond to you as quickly as I can. I can't wait to see you next year. Bye.